Okay, so here for the Flourless Chocolate Cake, we have our butter and our chocolate melting together.
Which smells unreal right now.
And while this is finishing up, we are going to whip our egg whites, or our egg yolks, I'm sorry.
Do you want me to keep stirring this?
Sure.
Okay.
And we have some sugar and some cornstarch. We add cornstarch to Flourless Chocolate Cake because it doesn't have flour, which is kind of acts as that glue.
Yeah.
So in this case, the cornstarch will help with that binding and kind of keep the cake together a little bit more.
Gives it some stability. So how much do you need to whip these? Are you looking to get them really light and airy, or?
Yes. So the Flourless Chocolate Cake, I'm going to fold everything into it gently. So we want to wait for this to become a pale yellow and very thick.
Okay. Now, why is it important that we're melting the chocolate and butter over a double boiler?
If we have the chocolate directly against the flame, we're going to risk burning it, which doesn't really give a great taste.
Yeah,
so
don't want burnt chocolate.
Yes, so this is more helpful to do it over a double boiler. It's a little bit safer for the chocolate. So we're all melted here, and we can just pull this right off onto our...
Thank you, Chef.
You're welcome.
About how long does it take for the egg yolks?
Just a couple minutes, not very long at all. See, we're kind of getting this becoming very pale.
And how many egg yolks did you start with?
7.
That's a lot of yolks.
Yes. Yeah, it helps with the richness.
Now, are you going to use the equal number of whites? Or
yes.
Okay,
equal.
Perfect.
Yep, we just separate the eggs and...
Because when a recipe calls for like more egg whites or more egg yolks than, the alternative, I never know what to do with the leftovers.
Right. Yeah, so we're just going to lightly fold this in together, and then I am going to step away and clean this bowl so we can get our whites going.
Okay, perfect. So what do you have happening over here now?
So I have our egg whites in here, and we're just going to kind of wait for them to get a little bit frothy, turn a little bit white, rather than how you can kind of still see the yellow of the white.
Okay, we're looking for stiff peaks, or?
We're looking for soft peaks because we want when we're folding it together, we want it to kind of be seamless.
All right.
Without having to overmix it. So when the whites are a little bit more stiff, you tend to have to be a little bit more rough.
Okay. How do you know when you're at soft peaks versus stiff peaks?
I can show you a little trick when it's done.
All right,
you
perfect.
can kind of pull your whip off and kind of see.
And do you add anything in at this point, or you just let them go?
I'm just letting them go until see how they're getting a little bit foamy here. So we're just going to let it go a little bit.
Okay,
and then we're going to just gradually add our second amount of sugar.
So you've kind of split the sugar in two. Half of it went in here with the yolks, and then half in there. Did you ever do the egg whites by hand?
No. I don't know what I would do if my mixer broke, but yes, it would take a long time.
Just think, when these recipes were all originally developed back in France, they were doing everything by hand.
All right, so this is very soft. You can it's not holding its shape by any means.
Right.
And that's how we want it for this recipe.
All right, so that's a long ways away from meringue.
Yes.
Okay.
You would have to continue to mix this for a while.
Okay. So you add them back into the chocolate mixture with the yolks.
Yep.
Great.
And then we are just going to...
So you fold it.
Yes.
You have to be kind of delicate in this step?
Yeah, you don't want to deflate the egg whites too much because they're not whipped all that much.
Okay.
And this is just, you can kind of see that it's starting to gain some volume.
Yeah. What would happen if the whites were whipped a lot heavier? Like, let's say you walked away and forgot about them and they became stiff peaks.
You would end up having to mix it a lot more and a little bit more rough, so you wouldn't get as much of a delicate cake.
Ah, okay.
It would be a little bit more dense.
Okay. That's a really great tip.
So I just kind of keep my spatula almost in one spot and just move the bowl.
Also a great tip.
That's kind of how I find it to be the best. And then here we
have...
That
looks pretty much homogeneous.
Yep, we don't have any streaks or anything like that.
Perfect.
And then we're going to go right into our springform.
Now, is it really important that you use a springform pan here?
I would say that it is, because it's much easier to unmold when the sides can come away.
Right.
I use some cake frames and things like that at work. But this is probably the best for if you want to make it at home.
Great. So no butter, no greasing of the pan at all.
Nope.
Awesome. And is that it?
And that's
Into
it.
the oven?
It's ready to go.
Now, what do we bake this at?
We bake this at 350 degrees.
And how long does it take?
About 40 minutes.
So not too bad at all.
Yeah, it will start to, looks very shiny right now, and then it'll start to have like more of a matte kind of look, and then it'll start to crack a little, and you kind of know you're getting close.
All right, perfect.
Well, here's our flourless chocolate cake after it comes out of the oven.
Yum. And this is cooled already?
Yes, this is completely cooled, and all I did when it came out of the oven was run a paring knife right around the edges so that it drops evenly.
So you want to do that while it's still hot?
Yes.
Okay.
And it kind of falls down a little bit, right?
Yes.
After it cools down.
Well, that's normal. You want that to happen.
There's like a leavening process with the air from the whites.
Exactly. And then so we just do that so that it drops all together rather than sticking to the sides and the center drops.
Sure. Okay. That's good to know.